Alright, a little history. My name's Kay. I work at the public access channel that's in the Allen County Public Library, and I've been working as the library production coordinator for about the last 15 years. That means I'm helping people out in the library to make their programs to put on YouTube and Facebook. And I suggest you pick up that book and take a look at it because it's pretty awesome. But today I'm talking to you about what you need in order to write an effective public service announcement. And PSAs are basically a non-commercial commercial. So this is for, it's for governments, it's for libraries, it's for nonprofits. Basically, this should start to sound familiar because I think it's you guys. So the first thing before you start pounding away on that big old typewriter is you need to answer a question in your head, and that's why am I doing this? Why am I spending my precious time writing this? And so, for example, the library wants to expand some resources out to try to bring in people who may feel alienated from the library and feel the library has nothing for them. So they'll do like a robotics class. Now, the thing you're doing is you're building an entire credible world out of words, and you want to make sure that everything is present and accounted for. If there's going to be a door, you need to write in a door. And on a side note, Robert Altman was notorious for throwing the script away and letting his high-paid actors ad-lib. But if you don't have high-paid actors, stick to the script. So you need to write a brief, and that's 4 sentences, and these are your goals and the scope of your PSA. This is a grab from the commercial world, and they usually call them things like creative or marketing briefs, and there's books out there to help you write them, and they're usually if you want to make money, but you can take some of those concepts and twist them into a nonprofit setting, and with a little tweaking you can do that. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to define your clear and measurable goals, and the first one's a due date. Next, you need to define your team's roles so you can be who's responsible for what. Who gets the pictures of the facility? Who books the pony? Who books the clowns? Who handles the narration? Who's in front of the camera? Who's behind the camera? You need to define these goals. Even if it's only you, define what you need and make deadlines for them. And the next part of managing expectations is there will be an approval process. We work in a pretty brutal, bureaucracy sometimes, and if someone's not telling you to do something, they generally have to sign off on it. So you're going to want to try to get them to sign off on it early and get that approval in writing. Next thing you want to do is identify your audience. So basically you're tailoring your message to a specific group. Not all library programs are for everybody. You've got programs for genealogy, you've got programs for story times for toddlers. Speak to your audience in their language. You want to make sure that you reach out to the right language, using the right language, and you can have people from that audience tell you what they think would be effective. And the next part is your audience takeaway. This is the thing that sticks in the brains of the people that just watched your message. What do you want them to know? Well, the library is offering robot classes, and we want you to sign up for them because we have something for you that you might not think that we have. The next item is the call to action. This is what you want people to do immediately after digesting that takeaway. Get up from your couch, walk over to your computer and sign up for this robot class now. You only get one because if you pile more and more on, you're going to fall prey to library information extension syndrome, where you think if there's a little bit of information is good, then a whole bunch of information is better, and you start piling it on and piling it on. Next thing you know, people don't know what they're doing, they don't know what they're looking at, and they get confused. That insistent little voice in your head is telling you need to put more information in, but you need to fight it with your brief. That's where you go back to that brief and say, no, I will not put that information in because it's too much. So, back to normal. So you need to decide early what the purpose of your PSA is. And you want to keep that in mind as you're writing it because you can get many positive responses to a PSA. And here's a list of some of the things that can happen if you write an effective one. And you just want to decide on which one you would like to do. Now the next thing you need to do is write your script. And you need to write all your words. Pulling really cohesive, great prose off the top of your head never happens in front of the camera. Write your words. If you don't, you're making everybody else's job harder, especially your editor. So a script isn't just the words that you write on the page that your actors are going to be speaking. You need to script everything. You need to script when the logo comes in, what kind of text will be in, what kind of music you're looking for, if there are any kind of colors that you particularly like. Write these all down because they're very important. Otherwise, you're going to wind up with a mess when you start editing. And once your script is finished, you need to read the spoken portion out loud, even if it's just to an empty office. hearing the different sounds in the words. If you have too many S's stacking up, you can cut some out, put in some new words. You have too much jargon, you can simplify it. If you talk really fast to get all the words in, you really need to cut some stuff out. And what you really need to do is write your words. They're meant to be heard and not read. So the average 30-second video was watched all the way through about 80% of the time. And this comes from a recent study. After 30 seconds, viewers decide whether they want to keep watching or not. So you have that 30 seconds to really grab people's attention. And the interesting thing is after about 4 minutes, it all levels off. So you've got the hardcore people who've decided to watch, they'll stick it out. So if you're wondering where to start, bear in mind that words take up space and time. They have a volume. And knowing roughly how many words fit into the time you've planned allows you to know your limitations and write accordingly. Incidentally, each one of these cards has 50 words on it. So I know that basically if I fill up a card, I've got about 20 seconds. Writing for the shoot involves being able to visualize the end product. What are the most important elements? What's the place? Do I need to get a shot of the outside of this place? Is there a speaker? Should I get a shot of the speaker from their About Me page? Is there art available? Where can I find this? Imagine what would catch and inform your folks. And once you've mastered the concept of writing for the shoot, you got to carry that forward by shooting for the edit. You want to stick to your script, and you want to make sure that the payoff comes when you edit. Time wasted on camera equals the heartbreaking scanning through extra unneeded shots, multiple failed takes, and uncalled for cutaways. So that brings me to the end of my presentation. All my photos were public domain, and I'd like to add that that cool robot class really is happening, and it's the third Tuesday of each month. Go to ACPL website and sign up under the events tab.